Sometimes we really just have to sit down and think about what happened, why it happened, or what could have been done differently. This is Breakdown with Renmar, where we analyze and discuss my favorite sequence from each day of MPL Philippines Season 14. This is my favorite play from MPL Philippines Week 14, Day 1, Week 1.
Find one. What do you see Doming? He's a big. Oh, he comes a second kill. He tosses back the claw. This could be a really good pick off. But Doming falls. Whoa! With an ultimate. It sends back Aurora. They find one. RENEJAY! The ultimate. The flicker. The triple. The MANIAC. DEMONKITE tops it off from a RENEJAY play.
This sequence is from Game 2 of Blacklist International versus Aurora. In this scenario, Blacklist International is at a deficit, 4.4, around 4,000 gold, leaning in on 5. The Lord is up, and Blacklist has to commit something. So, we have to look at what Blacklist knows, most likely, heading into what is about to happen. Number 1, they know that the Claude is most likely just pushing alone. That's one of the strengths of the Claude in objective team fights. He can go off in the opposite side of the map to clear minion waves, to apply pressure there, and then just go back to where the rest of the teammates are. It's like, hey, here, look at me, try to respond, and then suddenly he's not there anymore. And you lost a man while the Claude is already back with the objectives with his teammates. Number 2, to further reinforce that Blacklist International probably knows that Doming is quite alone, RENEJAY showed himself in the mid. And that's totally fine, because more often than not, when someone in the team is split pushing around an objective, there are members of the team nearby to shadow that player who is split pushing in the opposite lane. So even though they're priming themselves for the objective already, they're doing so not around the pit, but leading into it. And that does happen for teams. That is a usual sequence for the objective. And number 3, because of their understanding, most specifically MP the King, and the whole team's understanding of the timer of each jungler and jungler buffs, most likely the Fanny is at the purple. So, 3 things. Fanny's at the purple, Grok is at the mid, Claude is up top. They don't know where Edward is. That's why Lord JM is here. They're considering the possibility that maybe you have the Edith around here already deep diving to get information. So, Blacklist International decides, specifically Perks, to call the play. They're gonna conceal. And Perks got a lot of flack throughout this game, but I feel like his timings were well warranted. One of the main problems though is that Aurora was just able to respond really well. If you look back into the game, there were sequences where Perks got a good flicker, got a good toss, got a good ultimate. Sometimes he just got interrupted by a wall or he would get stunned, just responded really well by Aurora. So for Blacklist International here, Perks and Blacklist deciding to call this was a good call. Because now that you know that the Claude isn't there, there's 2 places he could be. Just around here in the bush, maybe waiting, or he's going down here so that he could get to the Lord. Usually, marksmen, what they want to do in this scenario with the Lord, especially if they're coming from a scenario where they just cleared the opposite side of the map, they're either going to park themselves here so that they can apply pressure from via the mid push, or they can just cut in during a team fight through here, all of that. Or number 2, they park themselves here, free hit from here, park themselves here so that they're on another side of a wall so that they're a little bit harder to reach, or they're just going to be around here fighting with the rest of the team. But Blacklist knows that the Claude has to go here. You can even see Perks and Outplayed cover very well the potential areas where the Claude would be going. Outplayed is heading towards here, Perks is heading towards here. So if ever the Claude decides to go anywhere there, they have it covered and they will be able to catch him. And MP the King will just decide which way he's gonna go. Either he's gonna be joining Perks or he's gonna be joining Outplayed. What happened was, Perks was the one who finds Doming. Quick adjustment by Outplayed. You see how quickly he turned? So now everyone knows, head there, this is where Doming is gonna be. Perks immediately gives himself the little speed boost, activates the missiles, He'll be able to flicker, great understanding of the distance that you can cover with the flicker, and he'll be able to toss Doming, stun him, and they'll be able to take him down because MP the King and Haji answered. Now, one of the problems though is that they didn't know where Edward was, and Edward was here, and that's why you see that Edward was able to use his flicker to earth shatter and catch off Outplayed, who knocks him up. But in this scenario, that's already a secure kill. Blacklist know it, and so they decide to commit. Doming gets taken out, Haji commits the ultimate, Edward gets a toss, more stun onto Outplayed, and now Blacklist is backing off. Blacklist weren't playing for a long team fight. Other people were saying, where's the Terizla? Where's Lord JM? He's gonna be parking himself in the Lord. Remember what we considered earlier, that Edward might be around this area if you're Blacklist, and the EXP laners would meet up there. And plus, Blacklist wasn't playing for a long sequence, they were playing for a pickoff. That was a sudden call. You can't fault Lord JM, the EXP laner, for not being there. He's just covering the bases. He's covering here because he has to cover for a potential Fanny split push. And at the same time, again, that was sudden. So, Blacklist International now has to back off, and they're respecting the capabilities of the heroes of Aurora. This is for long team fights, especially for Punish. If you can't get Edith down fast enough, she'll punish you with her ultimate, especially if she got to full stack it or full bar it. Number 2, DEMONKITE had a really good game, 6-1-1, and earlier we got to see a sequence where the Fanny got to absolutely tear the Terizla down without a problem. So Blacklist got the job done. Mission accomplished for them in this sequence. They got the Claude. They're gonna back off. So RENEJAY now has information. The information is 4 members of Blacklist International are nearby. He will only be able to get 2 with his wild charge, because there will be no scenario, maybe there could be, I don't know, but the flickers are already gone, there's no dashes, that there will be 4 members of Blacklist here. But more often than not, you're happy with 2. So you could either knock these 2 up so that DEMONKITE, you, and Edward can get secure 2 kills, or get these 2 because you see them going to the wall here. He commits the wild charge, they will get stunned, and that's exactly what RENEJAY decided to call. What he decided to commit, he'll be able to get 2-man, and DEMONKITE and the rest will just clean up house, double, triple, maniac. Aurora would eventually win from this sequence. RENEJAY, what a fantastic read, by the way, to stop the Terizla from going home. Leo called this as man-to-man defense when we were casting it together. And man-to-man defense is exactly what he got. What a check. He interrupted the recall. There was 1 minion wave coming in. Most likely though, Lord JM would not be able to defend, but that's just security. At its finest, Aurora takes the dub.
Edward, man-to-man defense against Lord JM. They're inside the base!
And in the dawn of this new rivalry, 2.0 can only look at the light, get blinded, and get swept as Aurora takes first blood in this series.
So one of the things that add to the aura and the story of what RENEJAY did for that game-winning sequence in Aurora versus Blacklist International Game 2 is something that happened 2 days before the game even started. MP the King posted on social media a screenshot of a game that Blacklist International had up against Aurora, just playing ranked games. They ran into each other, met up with each other, and MP the King and Blacklist International beat Aurora, who at that time was with Ben Things. MP the King posted, "Good thing RENEJAY isn't here. If not, we would have gotten crushed." So just a fun little banter. And RENEJAY responded with, "Do good in MPL. Your standing should be like that as well when we play," because he had a MVP performance here. And as we all know, MP the King had a difficult series. RENEJAY got the game-winning counter set to give the win to Aurora. And that is all of that story finished. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be posting a lot more of this. There will be one video per each day of MPL Philippines analyzing my favorite sequences. Again, this is Breakdown with Renmar.